Hello, how are you, my dear friends from Living Weaving? Look at today we have these cover cases that help us decorate our little bottles. For example, in this case I have a small bottle that fell out of it. This glue, and no matter how much I wanted to clean it up, I have not been able to remove it. But in reality the bottle is suitable for many things, as in this case, to keep these mobile eyes that I have here, to make my handicrafts. And so these bottles that come with jams or condiments, we can often put them to new use. And with these crochet woven castings, we can decorate them and put them in the color we like the most, and to match the decoration of our kitchen or our studio, where we have things of our handicrafts and our fabrics. And so look, with this blanket, with this melt, the cap will not be spoiled. Well, in this case, I have a cap that is in better condition, but this one served to cover here then. In order to weave this aluminum cover case, we have only used very little of wool, which in this case is a thin wool, not suitable for arrows number 3 or 4. We have started it well with a small flower in the popker crochet stitch, and then with groups of high points and also fans. Well then, let's explain the step-by-step development of these woven breast bumps. Well then, let's use a color. In this case I am going to make it different. I have used another green, and instead of yellow, the color orange. Let's start with the color orange. And we are going to make our earring now. There is our yellow hoop, within which we are going to start to weave our yellow stitch. In this case we are going to go up with 3 little chains, 1, 2, and 3 little chains inside our earring. And we are going to weave 1/2 high point or an incomplete high point. We leave it there 1. Let's make another high incomplete point 2. And 3. Here we have our 3 incomplete high points. And our chain. The following is: bind the strand and pass all the points at once. Now we will weave 3 little chains. 1, 2 and 3 chains. And we will repeat the same to make another point. Here we half-heartedly make a high point. The second. The third. And the fourth. Then we all pass them at once. And we weave 3 chains. 1, 2 and 3 again we repeat. A half high point. The second. The third. And the fourth. And then all at once. 3 chains, 1, 2, 3 and up to there. We already have 3 points. We will continue until we have 5. Again we make a group of 4. First half high point. Second. Third. And fourth. We all pass at once and make 3 chains. 1, 2 and 3 we go again. First half high point. Second. Third. And fourth we passed it all at once. And we already have our 5 points. We will have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and we make our 3 little chains, 1, 2, 3. And we throw this strand of our ring, or yellow ring. We adjusted very, very well. And we go to the other extreme here. We stitch with a stitch and close that turn. We have what we have here. Doesn't look that yellow because we have not yet finished weaving, but we will continue well. Let's make 1 more chain then. In order to cut our hybrid, we remove the wool. And that's all we've done with the center wool. in the color orange. Now we will continue with the color green, which in this case is a fairly light color well. There are many ways to do this, as I always tell them by tying the thread here. Picking it up like this. I like to do it this way. I am on the side of staircase number 4. And I go to any of these parts. These spaces, let's assume I'm going here. And I am going to look here at my work. I have a 3 high point fan. 1 chain and 3 high points, and that's what I'm going to do. Then for more comfort I will remove the cover. And I'm going to have it here to watch it. Let's see, let's remove this that moved. And we are going to do it again. And we weave 1, 2. And 3 chains in right there. Hiding this hybrid and orange at the same time. Also, let's make our 3-point high fan. 1 chain and 3 high points, 1 in the same place. 2. And 3, there it is, we have made our fan. We continue to the next space. Let's weave 1 more chain. And we move on to the next space, where we repeat the same thing again. 2 3 high points. A chain, 3 high points in the same place, 1 2. And 3 1 chain. And we will move on to the next place, and in each of these spaces we will repeat these 3-point fans, separated by a chain, and when we finish them we will make 1 more chain. Well, we are already finishing this second race, and click on the 3rd chain at the beginning. And close with a stitch. Let's go up then, weaving 1 2. And 3 little chains to make this race that is here. Which would be the 3rd. Then we weave our 3 little chains. 1 more chain, that is 4 little chains, and we pass to the space here from the fan. Of this fan, and we are going to leave the fan again. 1 2 3 high points. One chain and 3 high points. There it is. Then we will weave a chain. A high point in this space. A chain. And we move on to the next fan to repeat it 1 2. Three high points. A little chain and in the same place 3 high points. Again 1 2. And 3 1 separation chain. And in this space a high point. So we will continue repeating the fans and in the spaces a high point. Well, here we are finishing this race, which is the 3rd race. And we will take 1 2 3, we count 3 chains. Chop there and weave a stitch. And we have finished this career. What continues is as follows. We will weave 1 2 3 chains. And we will begin to fill in every space between each point with a high point. Here is a high point. Here is another high point. I'm not weaving in the chain here. I do not know if it will be seen. This is where I should knit. But I'm not weaving the chain but at the bottom. At the point I think it is visible there. This is where I should knit. But I'm weaving here from below. So that the high point comes out as well as smaller and more fabric focused at the same time. And there we will weave like this. Each space will be filled with a high point. Don't be afraid if it starts to close as well as something round, not as a bowl. Don't worry, just keep on knitting. And so we will go to the other end. And here we are finishing race number. For well, here we should knit a stitch. But we already have this point that belongs to this space, this one that belongs to this space. Then what we are going to do is count 1, 2, 3. And we close there. The next race is also all about high points, but in a different way. Let's knit 1, 2, 3 chains. Link the crochet and let's take our stitch. Not on this side but on the back like this. And we are going to weave it together. We entered where we were entering a moment ago. And put the high stitch behind the crochet. We go out in the other small hole and weave the high point. To fit the edge as a high relief. I come back and explain. This is where we came in a moment ago. We came in again and we also came in this way. And the point is to look at how it is getting behind. And there we weave it. What happens? We are left with this relief. What we have here. So we are going to weave in each of the stitches that we have woven in the previous race. Taking them from behind. So and so. Is not difficult. It's just a matter of seeing where we enter the crochet on the other side. We take the strand. And then weave. Is woven in the same way as the high stitch is woven. Or the rod. We are going to do this throughout the race, and we find ourselves at the end of this lap. And I am about to finish this race, which is the number to see 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth race, and we come back in here, weaving the high points from behind to keep this relief true. And there we are. We have finished. We take this point 1, 2, 3 in the third chain. Chop and weave a stitch. We already have our relief, and we already have this one that looks like a little hood. Don't worry. This is exactly how it should look. Then we will go up with 3 little chains. And what we are going to do now is to knit a stitch in each space, no longer taking the back, but as we normally do. Something important. If your cap is getting much bigger than the one I have here, you will simply continue to repeat race number 1, 2. Race 3. As many times as necessary, until you reach the size of your Tabitha. I will continue like this to this end and end up. Here we have already finished this race and we have 1, 2 and 3. In the third chain. Chop and close with sliding stitch. What we are going to do now is weave to knit the crab stitch. What crab stitch looks like? Good. You know that the crab always goes backwards. We do not link and should weave on this side. But let's go to the opposite side. And we pass the strand we link. And let's go. Forward, not backward. And we weave, we link. And let's see, there we weave. Two zebras came out. There is one more. We link and move on to the next space. We link and go to the next space. We link and go to the next space. Be careful to remove only one strand, just one more strand. For example here. I did not pick up correctly. Then we return. We take strand and move on to the next space. From the front. There we weave and the three of us spin together. We link, we go to the next space. We take the strand and pass it all together. How to knit 1/2 rod or 1/2 high stitch true. But instead of going here, we are going forward here. There is a little bit of difficulty with the hook. Now yes. We link, we go forward. And we pass head on, we link, we go forward. And we passed head on. This is how we will have a rim. Look. Different from the one we have here doing nothing. And this one will no longer give in. This one is going to give way and it is going to stretch. This one does not give us security then, so that our cover case, and so we will continue to weave to the other end. And we are just finishing knitting the edge. In our crab spot. Once again links. And we are already here, finishing making this edge at the crab point. Once again how we do it, we link. Let's move forward. And we passed it all at once, there it is. And the last one we link, we go forward. We pass everything and close it there, we are going to join here with a dot to be able to finish. Escaped, but we're going to get it back here. There it is. We weave one more chain and we can cut. We assure. And we will take our Lanera princess to be able to hide these zebras. We can do it with crochet, but it is easier with grandma in this case. There it is, we only cut. And you will say that this one is completely flat, and this one is like this, for this is how it is necessary to remain. Let's go to our tappeta, and we are not going to be super loose. It has to fit in tight, as you can see it. Here. We accommodate it. And there it is. Look at this little border I found in high relief. Has to be left there. Exactly on the edge. And there's our cap. Unlike this. The one here on my right hand looks deeper, because I made it on a little thicker crochet. Larger, and this wool is also thinner. And I made this one more bushy, because I made it on a thinner crochet. And the wool is a little thicker, eh? But in reality it is to your liking, to the caliber of the tension that they put into it to weave there. To make your fabrics true. Well, I hope you liked it. That can serve them. And so they can recycle all these bottles that come to us in the merengues, in jams. And we can reuse them to decorate the kitchen. Or decorate the place of our work, of our fabrics. I hope you like it. Share your photos of his work on the Facebook of Living by Weaving. And until the next opportunity.